The term sharing economy first pops up in an academic paper in 1978 by Marcus Felsen and Joe Spaeth. This was used to explain the sharing of equipment between farmers, tools among neighbors, and the sharing of clothes between families. Then, during December of 2007, people were hit hard financially. With jobs and savings disappearing overnight, many turned to creative ways to make extra money or save on expenses. This economic pressure, combined with the rise of technology like smartphones and online platforms, gave birth to the modern sharing economy. However, in this video, we are going to explore how Airbnb gained its success to become the most popular vacation rental company. In 2008, Airbnb was created as a platform that would allow people with extra space in their homes to list them as short-term rentals for travelers. More specifically, Airbnb and other sharing economy platforms are a big deal because they utilize resources that might otherwise stay unused, which creates new opportunities for both hosts and guests. For guests, it offers an alternative to traditional hotels, providing affordable, unique travel experiences where people can stay in urban lofts, rural farms, or larger homes to accommodate larger families. This combination of freedom has made Airbnb skyrocket in popularity and is often praised for its larger access to local culture across the world. For hosts, Airbnb essentially turns spare rooms and empty spaces into sources for extra income. Like other platforms, Airbnb's success is rooted in its promises. Being able to make money off your assets, increase efficiency, promote sustainability, connect with travelers, while promising flexibility and support based on your specific property, prices, and availability. But after investigating multiple case studies and talking with a local host in Nashville, it's not that simple and glamorous as it seems. In reality, hosting on Airbnb is often much more work and risky than the advertisements suggest. First off, maintaining visibility on the platform means dealing with algorithms. Airbnb's algorithms prioritize properties with high rankings, quick response times, and low cancellation rates. To stay competitive, many hosts feel pressure to accept nearly every booking request, even if it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. Scott and Gabriel, superhosts on the platform that rent out their home of 20 years in the eastern neighborhood of Laughlin Springs, Nashville, expressed two perspectives on this reality. When they began hosting 11 years ago, Airbnb was less mainstream and allowed them more freedom of when they wanted to list their home and would build a strong relationship over time with their guests. Now, with Nashville having the 6th most Airbnb rentals in the US, competition has changed, and they said that they now feel constant pressure to have their app notifications on and always respond even when they are busy to make sure that they have a high response time. This constant need to monitor your listing and respond to questions can feel like a never-ending job. And while Airbnb promises flexibility, the reality is that maintaining a superhost status, which is essential for maximizing bookings, often comes with sacrificing personal time. There's also a risk of property damage. While most guests are respectful, some hosts have reported stories of trashed apartments, stolen items, or worse damage to their homes. Airbnb does offer a host guarantee, but getting reimbursed for damages could be a lengthy and frustrating process with no guarantee of full compensation, as they often take the side of the guest over their host. Another challenge many hosts face is financial instability. Hosting might seem like a reliable income, but in reality varies drastically. Bookings fluctuate based on seasons, local events, and even competition from other hosts. A month of bookings could be followed by weeks of nothing, making it hard to budget or plan for the future. Lastly, it's important to address legal constraints. Many cities have introduced strict regulations on short-term rentals, limiting how and when hosts can rent out their properties. Violating these rules, even if unknown, could lead to fines or being banned from the platform.
When it comes to Airbnb and its impacts, most of the attention is focused on the guests and the hosts, but we don't usually think of the indirect effects on the communities they occupy. We'll explore both Airbnb's positive contributions and its downsides. So starting with the positive. First, Airbnb is a boost for local economies. Unlike hotels, which often concentrate tourist spending in specific districts, Airbnb spreads that spending across different residential neighborhoods. And this means travelers can frequent local coffee shops, grocery stores, and independent boutiques. And a study from 2019 estimated that Airbnb's global operations contributed $34 billion to global GDP, with local businesses gaining around $43 for every $100 spent on Airbnb lodging in the US. And next, Airbnb also creates a lot of jobs. Its presence indirectly supports a wide range of roles, like cleaners, property managers, photographers for listing, and also maintenance workers. And for instance, in London, a cleaner working with multiple Airbnb hosts reported her income nearly doubling compared to her previous full-time job. And these roles may not be traditional, but they've provided flexibility and income for many people. Of course, with all these benefits come significant downsides. The first is gentrification. Airbnb's popularity often drives up demand for short-term rentals, which pushes housing prices higher. A study in New York showed that neighborhoods with the most Airbnb activity experienced rent increases at around 7% above the city average. Locals, particularly low-income residents, find themselves priced out as landlords convert long-term rentals into short-term Airbnb properties. The second challenge is resource strain. Neighborhoods with heavy Airbnb activity often struggle to handle the increased foot traffic. Infrastructure like parking, waste collection, and public transportation usually come under pressure. In Venice, for instance, locals report that tourist-driven waste and water usage have significantly worsened in areas dominated by short-term rentals, and that creates environmental challenges for permanent residents. And lastly, there's the issue of community identity. Many long-term residents feel like their neighborhoods are losing their character, becoming more like transient tourist hubs rather than lived-in communities. In Amsterdam, some locals describe their neighborhoods as Airbnb villages, where friendly faces are replaced by an endless flow of strangers wheeling suitcases through the streets. This erosion of community fabric is a very profound loss for many. So what can we take away from all of this? The question isn't whether Airbnb is good or bad, it's about how we can find a balance between the benefits and the challenges, and how these findings can inform policy making that is tailored for each community.